That's not a little one.
No, I can see that one.
Mr. Copley, that's not a little one.
No, I think you found Big Brother.
There we go.
Nice.
I really slowed that up. I threw it to that discoloration line, Mark, and let that thing just set.
Just let it sit.
Look at this one. Yes.
Oh, yes.
That, Mark,
Very nice.
is what we came here for.
Oh.
Hey folks, John Bergsman here with a Fisherman's Digest, joined in the boat today by Mark Copley. Mark, that is a bruiser of a Canadian bass.
And look at the more greenish tint to that smallmouth.
It's awesome.
This tannic stained water, and they you know, they camo up to the water that they're in, but that is beautiful. Tiger striped up.
And this is post-spawn, guys. We're mid-June. We're up here at Camp Quetico, here right outside of Atikokan, Ontario. We're here today to show off just what some soft plastics. We're using the Strike King Zero, obviously one of my favorite baits, and we're here just working break edges. And the key is, and what you see behind us, this is what you pay to come to Canada for.
Oh, absolutely.
Wilderness. Couple of bears on the drive. Let's get this big girl back. We're gonna work our way down the shoreline, and we're gonna hope to show you a whole bunch of 4 and 5 pound fish today here from Camp Quetico. Stay tuned. Yes, indeed. Mark and I casted our little zeros to the same rock.
One of us came up, and the other one came up empty.
Oh my gosh, this is a train wreck, Mark. Crawfish, Mark. He's spitting up crawfish.
That's what I couldn't see what it was. I knew he spit up something. Nice.
We'll show you right here. That's what he's spitting up.
Yep.
Crayfish. So what we're doing is slow dancing, and I'm going to show you. I might even switch up, Mark. Look at the healthiness.
And then look how fat.
That's what I mean. He's stuffed. He was coughing crayfish up. Coughing them. We're going to take our time. We don't want to damage these fish, obviously. No. They're catch and release here. And there's my rig now. Blue and a little cream to it. That is the second high quality.
Very nice.
Canadian.
Very nice. Very long here.
Yeah. Let's let this girl go. Yep.
And a good one.
Yep. Oh, I saw that thing hit.
Oh.
Yeah, Mark.
A real good one.
Yes, sir.
Well, my plan worked.
It did. You went crayfish on us. I hate to have to net Mark's fish, but whoa, Mr. Copley.
Look at that. All right. And that's what we were talking about. They're eating crayfish. And that's a perfect match to one. Look at that. Another quality fish. About 20 inches long.
A bicep fish.
Wow. Beautiful. Now my first quality Canadian smallmouth.
That's right.
Caught it on a rage bug and Alabama crawl. We're not in Alabama, obviously, but they like green and orange.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Crestliner, forged with strength, defined by durability. Mercury Marine, go boldly. and MotorGuide.
So what we're gonna do here is we've had a couple of our bigger fish coughing up crawdads. So of course the Bama craw be a great choice right there. Still in the zero. Zero is my favorite early season bait. So just a little bit of an advantage. Trying to match the hatch, if you will.
So that fish spit up crayfish. That crawfish that got spit up was green and orange. This bait mimics a crawfish. One thing on rage tail, and this isn't the rage tail line, make sure you pop them. We package everything in clams and package where there's little appendages need to be pulled loose. So we're just gonna take a regular little tour grade jig head. Black will be fine, green pumpkin, anything that just is kind of camoed. Smallmouth are obviously have small mouth, so you don't want a big gaping hook. Just bring it on around. But I'm gonna do that. Put it up on that head. I'm gonna spin it now. Pop it up over that keeper.
Oh, I see what you're doing there, Mark.
Bringing this through the back. Skin hook it. Now we got crawfish.
You think maybe I should go to Canada? Yeah, you maybe should.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good choice.
I'll tell you what too, Mark, this little, this is a big fish. I tell you what, I'm fighting a fish and I'm also running my XI5 right now. Why? Because it keeps me in control. Mark's got some casts in front of him he can make. Look at this slug. Wow. Look at this slug, Mark. No, this is not your average fish right there, boys.
Very, very nice.
That is a big fish.
Beautiful.
Look at this craw. That's 2 casts with a craw. Paying attention to details. They spit up the crayfish was orange and brown, went to the Bama craw, boom, small fish, and Miss Piggy.
And this is a fish.
And that's a fish?
And it's a decent one too.
Oh yeah, it's a big fish. Right there.
Big fish, like big baits.
Let me help you out, Mr. Copley.
You got him?
I'm trying my best
Or are
to
you
lose
trying to
him.
knock him off?
I'm trying to knock him off.
All right, there's a little slack. Look at that, right where you want him to hit it, right in the top of the mouth. Comes loose, doesn't hurt them, and they sure are fun. All right, you want to go? Go. I'm not going to keep you.
Well, hey, sportsmen, you know, a couple of things to talk about here on System Fishing today with Mark Copley from Strike King. First off is the reliability of your outboard engine. You know, I've run a Mercury for 28 years. Every single minute of my career, I have had a black on the back of my boat. It has never failed me yet. But today's System Fishing incorporates the combination of the XI5 trolling motor and our GARMIN and its mapping chip capabilities. You know, we came up here, Mark, and we keyed in on those discoloration brakes, correct?
Correct, where it went from like 1 to 2 feet to 3, 4, quickly off down to 6, 7, 8,
Exactly.
even 12 feet.
And when we got on the water, what we did is basically zoomed out, found a group of islands, zoomed in on them, and used that contrast mapping structure that went from light blue to dark blue, and we could literally pick out the right ones and then just drive to them and fish.
Absolutely.
And when and rather than use the power trolling into the wind, we were dealing, as you can see right now, with a little bit of inclement weather at times. And so what we did was we elected to bow into the wind and slip, using the XI5 to just slip ourselves at the right speed, keeping ourselves in the right depth. So the XI5, the GARMIN mapping chip, and of course, awesome reliable products behind you. That's what makes you a better fisherman in today's world.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Strike King Lures, tie one on. Lose, feel the difference. And Wave Pro, best ride on the water.
You catch one off that boulder?
Yep.
Somehow I knew that. That boulder.
Oh my gosh.
Good one?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Not
This-
ready to come in yet either.
No, this point's gonna have a good one on it. I'm trying to soak because this point has really got some good. Yeah. Tell you what, this combo
I'll check this
fishing,
point out for us.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just check that point out. We'll pull this fish in.
Nice one.
Yeah, beautiful. Let's show you what we did here. We came back through an area, and we had fished this morning. If I can untangle myself. Fish on.
Fish on.
Fish on. Well, we'll show you the double. Mark's got a beauty. We'll hold it up and we'll show you what we're doing here. I'd cast again and get a triple, but I got a bass in my hand, Mr. Copley. Yeah, nice fish. Beauty, Mark.
Nice. How's that for a 1-2 punch?
The theme is two very nice Camp Quetico and Southern Ontario bass, and we're both pitching that same color. Explain that color and why we're doing it there, Mark.
It's all about the color. The color is called Alabama Craw. Obviously, we're not
Yeah.
in Alabama. But it's green pumpkin on top with that orange and the fleck and that's what the crawfish are.
Right, and I'm pitching that Bama Craw color in my, in my zero right now.
Right.
And
this is a rage bug, so this is actually imitating a crawfish. You're just hitting it with color.
Exactly, and what Mark's doing is he's in the back of the boat. We're having to control drift right now, let's be honest. This is tournament fishing. We got a big wind going, but we knew there was fish on this edge. He's going early with the heavy. I'm trailing behind it with the light, and that's the result right there.
Just beautiful, beautiful fish.
Beautiful fish. Well, let's
They
let
almost
these go.
have the same tin as a largemouth.
Oh, they do. But I tell you what, they fight a little better.
I'll take one of these over a largemouth every time.
Hey, on today's Tackle Box, we've got some really cool stuff for you so that you guys at home can key in on what Mark and I did here up at Camp Quetico this week. Mark, talk just a little bit about our setup. Now, you've got the one I fished with, and then I got the one you fished with.
Exactly. This is the Elastec Zero and peanut butter and jelly, isn't it?
It is PB&J.
PB&J. But a stick worm was really the key for us this week. And we fished a couple of different ones. Fished the shimmy stick. That's in sweet tater pie.
And that's just a little bit more like the crayfish color, that we had going.
Absolutely.
And we also ran that in the same zero, but in the Bama Craw.
And the Bama Craw, right. And as you can see, that orange belly with the greenish on top, which really mimicked the crawfish up here.
We netted that second 4-pounder, and he coughed up crayfish right into the net. I grabbed him, you looked at it, and you immediately turned.
And I said, this is what we need to throw.
The rage bug.
The rage bug. And it's called Bama Craw, but obviously we're not in Alabama, but it's a green pumpkin on top with the orange belly on it. And that orange and the green is the color of these crawfish up here. So it was a perfect imitation. This imitates a crawfish right here.
Yeah, and you went deep and a little bit heavier with a football jig, and I stayed light because one of the things you don't want to do, two guys in a boat, is both immediately. Later in the day, if you're getting your butt kicked, for sure, copy the guy who's doing the butt kicking. But early in the day, you went heavy with that crawfish. I stayed light with the worm, and we both caught fish. And when one of us quit catching fish, we'd both go and mimic the other.
Exactly. And two totally different presentations where I was staying in touch with the bottom, dragging it along like a crawfish.
Absolutely.
And this is more of a weightless.
Pay attention to color, pay attention to circumstance, you'll catch more fish.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, leaders in trolling technology. Traxstech, the ultimate fishing system. And GARMIN.
Bite. Oh, big fish. Big fish. Oh, Mr. Copley.
Oh, I'm coming. You know what? I'll help you since you helped me.
Look at this fish. Oh my goodness. Tick.
What a day. What a day.
Now that's about the smallest fish that Mark and I caught today, really, to be honest. But when you're catching fish that leave the water by 1.5 feet,
Oh, yeah. Not bad. Head shaking. I like that shit. Mean. Yeah, pretty good one.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bait there, that tater pie, Mark.
This may be the biggest of the day.
It is. Look at that bait, the way he took that.
Right like it's supposed to, right in the roof of the mouth. Isn't that pretty?
That is a fat
That is
fish.
fat. I don't know if it's the biggest one of the day, but it's one of the bigger ones of the day.
It's beautiful. That's what that is.
Caught on shimmy stick. You know what the key has been here? The color of orange
Yep.
and stickworm.
Absolutely, and working them slow and hitting the transition, that dark light color break, and it only comes out in some spots maybe 5 feet from shore, and then it drops off.
But these bigger ones are right where the drop off is.
You gotta hit that edge. You know, when you're considering a destination in southern Ontario and your object is smallmouth bass, Camp Quetico out of the Atikokan region has gotta be high on your list. You know, I've been to Camp Quetico twice now, and both times I have absolutely crushed the bass, and the other species surrounding the bass, the walleye, the northern pike, and lake trout, are also extremely good here out of Camp Quetico. You know, one of the things I love about Camp Quetico is the food and the service. Tammy and the whole staff, the camp cook, do an absolutely awesome job of making sure that all of the guests are taken care of, well fed, and serviced both breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When you really look at an out of area driving excursion, Camp Quetico is a no-brainer. When you consider the cost to what you get in return and couple that with just amazing fishing, Camp Quetico is a real value. You know, one of the great things about fishing is the fact that you can keep a few fish, take them back with you, and have a fantastic meal at home. My son Grant, the cook in the family, is going to show us today a really unique blackened walleye fish taco.
All right, to do the pineapple salsa, we have our half a pineapple chopped up, and then we got jalapenos, about a 1/4 cup of red onion. We have a red pepper,
Fresh tomato.
and then we have our orange pepper that we're putting in.
Perfect.
And then, a little something I like to add to stuff is cinnamon. Our cilantro finishes it off. I'm actually gonna add rice vinegar. All right, we got our walleye ready. We have our homemade blackening seasoning. I do it homemade, but you can go to the store and get any type of blackening seasoning, whatever you like. Butter all ready to go, our pan's hot. Gotta make sure your pan's hot before you put the fish in, otherwise it gets mushy. And then all we do, a little of the pineapple salsa. You don't need much.
I like that too, because you get a little juice in when you pour it like that. That looks amazing.
And that's how we do it.
Hey sportsmen, thanks for joining us today. Thanks to Mark Copley at Strike King, and of course Barry Giles, Tammy, and the folks at Camp Quetico for such a great, awesome adventure. If you're looking for great fishing reports and more information, check us out on Facebook at Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest. This is John Bergsma. We'll see you again next week.
Closed captioning brought to you by Wave Pro. Best ride on the water, online at waveproshock.com.
And so you all know, on that last big fish I caught, this close to driving that little weedless hook right through. Let me show you, we'll just show you. Not past the barb.
Oh my Lord, she almost got you there.
That was as close as I've been this year.